Hello, welcome to the first of a series of videos showing you how to use Acrobat Professional for your thesis or dissertation at BGSU. This is required before you submit to OhioLink. You want to start off at bgsu.edu, hover over Academics, and click on Graduate. Once you're on the Graduate College website, you want to click on Theses and Dissertations. From here, you'll see the indented navigation for our website. You have a link to the handbook and various requirements, a link to workshops, which we strongly recommend you attending, and a link to our required templates. But for today, I'm going to talk about converting your document to PDF and our accessibility webpage. When you're on converting your document to PDF, if you scroll down, you'll see that there's an instruction guide that you can refer back to even after watching this video. Our instruction guide includes bookmarks for what you may be looking for. Currently, I'm going to talk to you about combining files and setting the document properties, and talk a little bit about organized pages in this video. Also from this webpage, you can click on a 1-week free trial for Acrobat Pro. Whether you're on a Mac or a Windows machine, or even if you're using LaTeX, you need to get Acrobat Professional to complete these requirements. Acrobat Reader is unable to do this. From our website, when you download the 1-week free trial, please understand that if you submit closer to the deadline, we may not be able to get to your document because everyone is submitting closer to that deadline. So your 1-week free trial could run out. It does cost currently $19.99 a month, and you can cancel it after 1 month. It is possible to use Acrobat for free on BGSU's campus. You could also check if it's at your work or your local library. Let's start off with combining files. Combining files is found over here under All Tools. You want to try to add the files in the order that you want them to appear in your document. And click Add Files. Insert your computer for your title page. And this is the PDF version of your title page. So if you have it as a Word version and you include it here, it will spin over the little page icon because it will convert it to PDF for you. So it'll take just a little bit longer. We recommend going ahead and PDFing it first. Then you want to add the body of your document. And then if you have an IRB letter, an IACUC letter, a survey, something else that you need to add at the end of the document as an appendix, you'll want to put that last. Once you have those together, you want to tell it to combine files in the upper right-hand corner. Again, as you saw, those check marks happen very quickly. It's the point where it would spin if you accidentally put a Word file in there and it needs to convert it to PDF. It always names it Binder 1. We will rename it for our purposes. File, Save As. I'm saving my stuff to the desktop so I can find it easily. And you can save it as your last name, thesis, or dissertation. I do recommend that you save it with a date or a version number. And the reason for that is because I think the most common issue that we find is someone, when we've sent it back for corrections, accidentally sends us the original file. We're not finding any of the corrections, and you're frustrated because we're sending it back again. So to alleviate that problem, we strongly recommend giving it a date, or v.1, v.2 for a version number, so that you are sending back the corrected version. As you can see here, I have a title page. I have the body of my document. And if I keep scrolling down, you'll find appendices. So that was that IRB letter. Next, you'll need to fill in the document properties. You want to go to the upper left-hand corner to Menu, and scroll down to Document Properties. You should now see the Document Properties window. You want to give it a title. If you don't already know the title of your document, you will need to close this out and start again to scroll to the top of that page. We do not want to put our document in all capital letters at this point. It's only on the title page that we use all capital letters. Next, the author should be you. And the subject is up to you. The subject does not have to match what you select for OhioLink. I do recommend subjects are a little broader because you'll use keywords for people to be able to search your document. And judging from my title, where I'm talking about Louis Armstrong and his New Orleans trumpet playing style, I could use music. That's fairly broad. I could call it jazz music and get it just a little more refined for my subject. Next, you need a minimum of 3 keywords. These same keywords will be used in OhioLink, and you want to use a semicolon in between each keyword or phrase, because HTML coding reads a semicolon as a hard break. If you use commas, people will have to search all of your keywords with the commas to find your document, and we just want them to have to come up with that one word, phrase, or abbreviation that you use. If you choose to use an acronym, I'm going to use one today. SWOT is the acronym. We ask you to, after the semicolon in the space, spell out what the acronym stands for. Notice that I did use commas there. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is what SWOT stands for. Once you have filled in all of these sections, we ask you to check the Advanced tab to make sure your document is set to English. Unless you're one of our students that is doing a degree where you have to submit it in Spanish or German. The rest of you should be submitting in English. You can go ahead at this point and click OK. We're going to talk a little bit about organizing the pages. As you can see, you have a thumbnail of every page in your document. If for some reason you see a blank page, you can hit the trash can here to delete the page. Make sure if you're doing that, it doesn't mess up the page numbering. Sometimes I've seen people after the title page, for example, have a blank page, and it would not mess up the page numbering in that case. I've also seen it at the end of chapters and at the end of a document. So just check to make sure you don't have any blank pages. Notice that some of my pages are landscape and some are portrait. These wonderful arrows make it so that you can turn a page, landscape or portrait. I would only do this if you noticed somehow after you've combined your files and filled this all in that you forgot to turn a page in Word before you PDF'd it. If you're using LaTeX, more than likely you've already turned the page and you won't have this issue. If you do decide to turn the page, you'll want to watch the edit video for how to move the page number and the heading to the top of the new directional page. Please continue to listen to our other videos about editing, embedding the fonts, and accessibility. Thank you.